Hello? There we go. Hello, everyone, and welcome here to TownHall Heroes, episode number 105. My name is Solid Jake, and this week we got BKB is back, Dunk Train is here, Hasuwab's joining us once again, and Snitch also has not been on for quite a while. BKB, how you been, buddy?
Hello? Was a bit busy.
Wait,
By
there's
the way,
echo?
echo?
Is he echoing for anyone else?
Test,
Yeah, he's
test.
echoing for me.
Oh, no.
One,
Jake.
two.
This is probably my fault. Keep talking, BKB, I'll fix it.
1, 2, 1, 2. I think it's
Okay.
fine.
I think
So
it's
yeah,
fine now.
I've been I've been busy with like boot camps and tournaments and qualifiers. Have to apologize that I've like missed 2 shows, but I'll make sure that next time like I can make it, or like at least I can notice it earlier. Cause
No, it's all good,
I
man.
think once, yeah. But other than that, like I've been fine. Just have to improve with the team, and I think it's gonna be Gucci. So that's it for me.
Gucci. Dunk Train.
Yo, what's up? We just been playing in qualifiers, doing that same old stuff. I'm pretty excited personally because I just built a brand new PC. It's all brand new stuff except for the graphics cards, which I'm waiting for the new NVIDIA Pascal line to come out to be like fully completed.
Ooh.
And then bought a desk that's adjustable between sitting, standing, and like gonna be doing hella streaming when all that stuff comes in and I can reorganize my room and stuff. So I'm pretty excited for that. Should be happening probably after Austin, realistically, to set up the desk and all that stuff. So looking forward to that.
Awesome. That's actually really good news. I love when players like BKB stream a lot. That's nice. BKB stepped it up recently. He's been streaming a bunch. Good to see you'll do it.
What?
What's your excuse, Snitch?
Well,
Well, I streamed like 2 days ago or something. Maybe. I streamed recently, for sure. I definitely
Yesterday.
streamed. Yeah,
Yeah, you did.
see? BKB knows. He hosted me, I think. Yeah. My main excuse is I play a lot of tournaments and I win them. So I mean, I must be using my time properly at least somewhere. Yeah, we just got back from Leicester where we had Jay's second 10-0. It's a pretty good tournament. We prepared really hard for it. I think worked out pretty well. Other than that, it's about preparing for tours in Sweden and seeing if we can have a better performance than we did last time.
In Korea, you're referring to?
Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. All right. Hasu, welcome back, my friend. What's new?
Not too much. Pretty much the same story as Snitch, besides the part of winning a tournament. But other than that, we were boot camping once again, and we played in England. Now we are back, and today we scrimmed all day. And we still have to qualify for tours because we, like always, we don't do it in the first or second one. We have to wait for the final one, and then we managed to do so.
it's strategy.
Well,
Yes.
you make
Man.
everyone underestimate you, and then you get to the land, everyone's like, "Oh yeah, these guys are a team."
Yeah, like last week, I think before Leicester started, Zoya even said, "My insanity is a bunch of patch zergs. They only got to Korea because they were good on that patch." But obviously, you guys came out on fire and proved that is not the case. Cool.
So it's
All right.
Zoya's fault that the community keeps saying that. And see,
Yeah, we can blame Zoya. I'm good with that. All right, guys. I got to give a big shout out to Daniel. He's a local guy. He's a big Heroes fan. He treated me to lunch today. Had a delicious burger. It was wonderful. And actually, there's so many local people here on the East Coast and the Northeast that are Heroes fans that have been asking to do meetups and stuff that I'm actually going to be organizing a Heroes get-together here in the Northeast. But I'll talk more about that at the end of the show. I
Nice.
just wanted to get that on the
Thanks,
radar.
Daniel.
Yeah. Oh. All right, guys. Well,
Thanks,
tonight
Danny.
we're going to be
No one
going
else cares
through...
about Daniel. What the hell?
Yeah. Oh, we care.
Yeah,
We care.
he's all right. Like, yeah, he's pretty decent, but like,
Dunk,
Come
he
on.
loves you. You just shattered his dreams.
oh, I mean, I love you, Daniel. You're a great guy. Good work, brother.
All right, well, per usual, we have more patch notes here. Another small patch has come out just today. It officially went live. We have Tracer, the second week of her. I'd like to talk about her just a little bit briefly. Notably, I want to get Snitch's opinions on the hero. I know you haven't had much time to play her, considering you were so busy with Leicester, but still, we'll be hearing your thoughts. And then we'll be talking about Leicester the first European regional, the first regional for all, maybe the entire competition, the first team to qualify for DreamHack Sweden. I think that might actually be the case. That is, of course, Dignitas, and then we will talk about the first Heroes qualifier for the second North America regional. Lots to talk about for sure, but let's just open up and pull up the patch notes. And Kael'thas, man, this is what he needed, right, boys?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm so glad Felon Fusion went from 5% to 4 because that talent was busted,
Like,
and I think this will put him on a much better level.
I think this will separate the good Kael'thas from the great Kael'thas. That 1% less ability power is going to be the difference between so many kills, you know. But now everyone's just going to switch to using convection because that extra 25 damage when it's maxed out is unbelievable.
It's
Pretty sick.
brutal.
Yeah.
I just so curious, where did they get these numbers? Like, I just want to talk with the guy and ask him, like, why, like, where, you know, like, what's the theory behind it, like, exactly those numbers? But I don't know.
I mean, reducing the 5 globes, so you only have to collect 20, I think is a good change, actually.
gonna say,
Yeah,
yeah,
because of-
I
I
like
actually
that
agree.
change.
Yeah.
So that
I
one
won't
is
make
good.
fun of that one. Good work on that one,
Yeah.
guys.
The other two, I
That
don't
one's
know.
allowed.
What about the change to Sun King's Fury? I mean, it's pretty much 100% pick rate at this point. Very powerful. Is that like a sizable nerf? Is it meaningful, or is it still, for a level 16 talent, still super strong?
I mean, it doesn't nerf Mene, but I think Sun Kings was definitely the strongest talent on that tier, and I think it's a good nerf. I don't know if the numbers are big enough to actually squish it out completely, so it's probably good, but I definitely think it's in the right direction. Like, I think Sun Kings is really, really, really brutal, even for frontline. It's super hard to play around because if you get caught in the stun, even as a tank, you get blown up in that duration. As long as he gets 2 or 3 autos off, you're taking like upwards of 3,000 damage. So
You know,
I think it's definitely good to nerf it.
it's almost comical. Like when you're fighting something like you're doing like an immortal race on Battlefield. Once you have level 16, KT, like you can visibly see just chunks come out of the immortal's health bar. It's insane.
Yeah. It's pretty sick.
The change is good. Like,
Yeah, I
it
think
was
so.
strong and it needed nerf, but we'll
Yes.
see if it's enough nerf. I don't think it's an over nerf, but it, like Snitch said, it's definitely in the right direction. So we just
By the
have
way,
to see if it's enough.
How do you guys like that KT is somewhat of an auto attacker? Isn't that very weird? Like for me
It's-
as an assassin,
Yeah,
I feel like it's very weird what they did to him.
Mene said the
I mean,
same
I-
thing. He hates playing like auto attack heroes. So when they first did the kill change, he was like, "You're playing Kael'thas," but then he decided he's just gonna build wrong anyway. But I mean, I think I like the talent, and it makes you feel really strong. So
Yeah,
I like that aspect. Like you feel like you're doing a lot when you have it. But yeah, it's a odd for Kael'thas to kind of push into that direction. But I think maybe with these nerfs, he might just have more flexibility, and you can kind of go the way you want. So
Well,
Yeah.
one thing I agree with you guys that it's kind of weird, but on the other hand, I don't like when a hero gets to the point where it's like Li Ming, where she just stands 5 screens away and just presses her WQ on cooldown and doesn't ever have to worry about weaving in auto attacks, doesn't have to worry about anything like that. She just throws her spells and like you don't feel like you're interacting with that hero in a meaningful way a lot of the times as the opponent. So at least if Kael'thas has to auto attack you, he's in range to be in danger, right? Whereas
Sure.
like Li Ming is just pooping out spells and dear
Yeah.
God, if one hits you, half your health is gone. And it
Like,
resets it.
KT is like high risk, high reward, I guess. But and I think actually it's a good thing because you get punished for your positioning, so you have to be more careful when to go in and do the auto attacks. So I think it's actually quite okay thingy for assassin. Like,
Yeah,
I
agree.
really don't like if there's more heroes that Li Ming that can sit far back and do insane damage and you can't do a lot about it, you know. It makes the hero less skillful, I guess. I don't know.
Do you think they need to make changes to his other level 16 talents to make them a little bit more like on the same level? Because like that has crazy single target potential, right? The autos. Whereas comparatively, I mean, honestly, I don't take his level 16 talents anymore. I deleted them from my memory. It's so good.
He has a second charge of Verdant
it's
Spheres.
yeah, it's second Verdant Spheres
Twin
and the
Spheres
double
is-
flame strike.
Yeah,
They are all very good, actually.
they are.
think-
Like
Mm.
people
Yeah.
underestimate the second Verdant Spheres. Honestly, like
Yes.
Because empowered gravity lapse is as powerful. It's like basically an ultimate. Like if you're actually in a clumped up team fight, if multiple people get hit, that feels like a back-breaking spell. If you have like 2 important targets get hit by the stun, and resetting it and like just getting another big stun off it is just like so insane. But I haven't really seen anyone use the reset talent at level 4 in competitive, so I don't know. Maybe it's just not reasonable. But that's what I was
It's
thinking.
because
would
the
seem
W
broken.
is so strong, I think. It's just
Yeah.
because the W is too
Yeah.
strong. Because I think the other 2 talents are actually good talents, but maybe with this number change now we might see some more diversion, but I don't think so actually. I still think this is the best one. So probably see the same build.
Yeah, maybe.
All right, well, Kael'thas, he's still going to be pretty darn good, even with these changes they made to him, so don't expect him to disappear from your Hero League games quite yet. Next on the menu, we've got the Butcher. Now, his cooldown on Enraged talent has gone down a bit. They did a massive buff to Chop Meat. That's his lane clear, his Merc cleave, essentially. Ruthless Onslaught also got a cooldown reduction, mana cost reduction, and the talent, of course, got adjusted as a result. And then Furnace Blast did receive a small buff as well. A little bit of a shorter cooldown, a little bit more damage. So let's talk about this hero, Snitch. How have you felt about Butcher in general as a hero?
I mean, in the past, he's had moments where he's been really strong, right? I mean, at BlizzCon, we had the whole Sank strategy that came out a few times where you go in with Butcher and then you'd Sank him and he gets everything down. I don't really want to talk about him because I want to lie and say that I think these changes won't matter. But I actually think the Chop Meat change can be really significant. And I think it might be really, really good for him to have a lot of wave clear. And it might change his place in the game a lot.
Well, it's
But
not
I'll
even just
definitely
lane
need to play
clear,
with it,
because
see.
he's got to collect the fresh meat too, right? I mean, so it has synergy with his trait as well. So not only is he great at pushing out lanes, but it allows him to farm up quickly. And like, do you think that gives more viability for something like Vittles for the self-sustain?
I mean, maybe. I don't know. To me, it's literally just. I mean, the additional meat is nice, right? Because it's if you last hit them, right, or something, you get more meat drops. I think.
Right.
I'm not 100% sure what the talent is totally, but to me, just the double damage on waves with the Q seems really strong, especially for a hero that likes to roam and a hero that's already he's already a good 1v1 laner. Like that's not really a problem he has.
exactly.
Like things like he beats matchups like Chen, and we've seen it in the past where people have pulled out Butcher to face things like Chen.
Yeah.
As kind of like a cheese counter. And I think when he's already a really good 1v1 laner, and now you have the option to give him a lot of wave clear, I think he might actually start seeing more play on lane focus maps. But
So let me just
it's
correct.
not like it really fixed any of his main sort of problems, so I'm not 100% sure.
I'm just gonna call myself out. Vittles and Chop Meat totally at the same talent.
Yeah, I think it's on the same tier, right?
Yeah, I think
I was gonna say.
level 1 or
Oops.
Good work, Jake.
Okay. Hasu, how do you feel about the new Butcher changes?
I mean, we haven't seen him for a long time. I'm not sure if these changes will change that, but like Snitch mentioned, I think if you want to draft him, it's probably within the old setup. Like you get Turael and maybe Uther, so you have Divine Shield, so he can just go full ham. And if you have a comp like that, he might be still very good actually. So maybe some team will try him out and we'll find out that he's not that bad in certain comps. I mean, given that we have KT in almost every draft right now, if he's not banned, then I mean maybe Butcher can help against that. He probably kills them very quickly. And then I think the E changes are pretty good. Like less cooldown I think is fine, less mana. I think it's actually good changes overall. Just don't know if it's enough to see him in competitive play again.
I'm kind of surprised we didn't really see anyone experimenting with him when he got the silence added to the Lamb. Like, I'm not really a Butcher player. My team's not a huge fan of Butcher. We've never really used it. But, like, I'm surprised some of the other teams, like, I didn't see it at all in anywhere.
You can cleanse
no,
it
it
now,
seemed like
though,
no one
right?
even was in.
The
Yeah,
problem's
yeah,
in the
yeah.
cleanse.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I think that's
That's
the
the
biggest
problem.
problem. Yeah.
20 is sick, but still,
Yeah.
like, to trade ult for cleanse is not always what you want to do.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
but the 100% damage, like, I think, yeah, like, again, like Snitch said, he's already a bully in a lane, and with this wave clear, I think we'll see him, like, on Dragon for sure. Like I don't know, like maybe even in Tomb, because it's pretty. I think it's like a strong wave clear, like a really strong one.
There are still situations though
it's
where
very
your opposing team might not have cleanse. You think it's just kind of too risky to try to line up a butcher draft where they might have gone for like a Tassadar or a Tyrande or Brightwing, or even Brightwing. I guess Poly is like enough to deal with butcher even without cleanse in a lot of cases. I'm curious.
I mean, if you lamp them, then Brightwing is probably not enough because the
That's
guy
true.
gets silence and is stuck, and then he probably just dies. But in Europe, I don't think we have. Like usually the drafts have a cleanse, so I
Yeah.
think that's why never anyone tried it, to be honest. after
Usually,
they changed
yes,
it.
but
Yeah.
there are cases where there's no cleanse. It's uncommon for sure, but there were definitely matches over this weekend where the teams without cleanse.
It might be a good pick then, yeah.
It
Interesting.
might be just too infrequent to bother practicing too.
Yeah.
Like that's a real concern. Like some heroes, they're only good in like one niche situation, and you just don't want to spend the time to practice that specific thing just in case it comes up one time, maybe. Like so it's a waiting thing.
Can we just address that someone from Cloud9 just said it's not right to practice something you might only use once? Hello? The cheese monster himself is saying, don't practice cheese strats. Play consistent, kids.
Nice
Exactly.
mate, bro.
Play the meta, boys. Don't be prepared for anything unusual. That's my advice.
Practice nothing weird.
Yeah. But I guess also why the ult isn't that strong, because for example, like you always want to have stun, not the silence. For example, if you compare him to Thrall is also a strong laner, and he has a ult that can 5-man stun. But like Lamb is a silence that makes the target stay still if the enemies doesn't have cleanse. Like there's, for example, Thrall is still more reliable than he, for example.
Yeah, for sure.
His ult isn't even that strong. But yeah.
And Thrall
But
can-
20 is
Shitting
sick though.
furnace
20,
bombs.
20 is like free win, I think. If you get to level 20, if you hit like 4-man or 3-man lamp, it's like rip. You can't cleanse all of them.
I mean, I guess if you Lambrega even before, and it has a very long range, that was always the
Yeah.
strength of the ultimate. It's like more than one screen or something.
Yeah,
So
the range is massive.
Mhm.
That's kind of.
I mean, I guess
big part of it.
he probably would work, but I don't know. No one ever tried him again, I guess.
Yeah,
so
exactly. I
Yeah, like now
actually
you can land Rhaegar, and he can't ancestral. Wait, okay,
Yeah?
but he can't cleanse himself. Wait,
he can't do none of them anyway. But like, you're right. I don't actually think it's about the hero. Maybe just I think teams haven't even tested him out. Like maybe played one game and like lost a scrim and thought like, oh, it's not good or something. I don't know. I don't think people just put enough input in trying him out and seeing if he's actually viable in some of compositions.
I don't know. Like you're saying, Stitch, chop meat feels really powerful though. That's some pretty quick lane clear. He has.
It's insane.
Yeah. So
That
who
level
knows?
20 lane clear test though.
yeah.
That's when
Yeah.
wave clear really
Level
kicks
20
in.
Oh
lane
god, I
phase
didn't even
is
notice.
Okay. I didn't see level 20 though. How fun.
Yeah, but those are level 20 minions. Yeah, strong those bad
Yeah,
boys
that's
are.
true. That's true. That feeling when you're like fighting someone in a wave or something and you look at your death recap and you're like, I took 800 damage from minions? What the heck is going on here? I didn't know they hit that hard.
And then you're
That's a
still
bad
laning
feeling.
at level 20, and you're like, what's going
Yeah,
on?
yeah, exactly.
Let's try this again.
Okay,
We're
level
level
1.
1 now.
Still hella decent.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Uh,
I mean, I don't know if it's enough though. It'll be interesting.
cooldown is 4 seconds though, but
Yeah.
that doesn't look actually that strong. But maybe with like, I don't know,
Well,
level
it's-
3, level 4 level.
Yeah. Who knows?
Who knows?
All right, guys. Moving down the list. Nazeebo got Gargantuan nerfed. Hello?
Oh my god.
Thank God, dude.
Gary-
Nazeebo was
Gary just
tearing
saw-
up. He was
Yeah.
tearing up my Rank 1 Hero League games, and he was smashing the noobs. So I'm
Human
glad that
greed.
this Gargantuan buff came through at the right time to save my future Hero League experience.
Dude,
Thank
it's,
you,
oh my
Dustin.
God.
it's a nerf. It's not a buff.
Well, they nerfed the basic attack, but they increased the storm, right?
Yeah.
The damage.
But he was too strong.
Now,
I mean,
I mean,
now,
we-
this change
this will
separate.
separate the good Nazeebos from the great Nazeebos. Because only great Nazeebos get those slams on point every time. So I'm excited to see those Nazeebos rewarded.
I remember ADRD drafting Nazeebo in the versus Navi, and we still
Good
like
stuff.
we won.
I loved
It
that
was,
game.
It
That was a
was,
fun
it
one.
was,
He even took the
Yeah.
level 20, the humanoid,
Yes,
and then they,
yes.
they won the game.
It was so good. Like actually, I remember like early to mid game, it was good. The zombie wall is broken. It
Zombie
deals
wall.
so much. Yeah, just it's like, but yeah, like I don't know. Again, like just actually have to read developer comments.
I mean, I guess a lot of people were complaining about it. Otherwise, Blizzard wouldn't have changed it. Or
What?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
saw
but-
Reddit lighting up. It was like
or something?
15 posts. It was like, Gargantuan autos are wrecking my hero league. Dustin, do something.
I mean,
Quick
that's
match
what
is
they're
in
writing.
danger.
The developers comment that the Austic he was killing heroes too fast. So I don't know.
I mean, they straight up just say
Yeah,
they
yeah.
want to make the stomps feel more impactful.
Yeah.
We're lowering his base attack damage to bring it more in line.
You know,
In line with what?
You
If-
you
buff
think I
Dude,
Dude, it's gotta be more in line with Ultralisk. You know that really
Oh,
good
right,
Kerrigan
yeah.
ulti.
Ah.
Yeah, they have
They
to
buffed the
match
egg
them up.
recently. Yeah, they buffed
Yeah.
her level 20 egg, and now it's just off the charts. So
I think to make it even more impactful, they should have done the stomp on 120 cooldown. Then it feels really strong.
Then it would have been more impactful. Yeah, you're right.
they should have added a 0 on the end.
Nope. I don't know. I think if they made it
But
so you could actually
Rip
control
Gary.
Gargantuan, this might feel cool, but
I don't know.
it's
Nazeebo is, you don't see him at all. Like,
Right.
he need like Nazeebo needs the buff in general, I think, and then I don't know. Like this change doesn't do anything.
I think he needs the wall to be a lot stronger, like a lot harder to kill. Like you need like 4 auto attacks to get out of it, or 3, you know.
Do you know how
he might be
cancer that would
fine.
be? Do you know how
What?
bad that would be for just quick match and stuff alone, like low level
Okay,
players that
okay,
can't
that's
move?
true, but
That would
I'm thinking,
ruin
yeah.
that.
I mean,
no,
they
I
could,
think 3 or
they
4
could
out.
go for they could go for like a what's the hero Dota
Auto-counting
called?
health?
What's the hero Dota
Oh.
called? The hook shot
Which
one.
Pudge?
Oh, Pudge.
Pudge. No, not Pudge. The hook shot one.
Oh, clockwork.
oh.
Clockwork.
Clockwork. Yeah, they could go
Clockwork.
for
Ah,
a
yeah.
Clockwork cog idea where it actually takes a number of autos.
Yeah,
That could be interesting.
Huh.
Or like a number of spells.
I think
That
that
would
would
be
good
a good
because
change.
it reduce. Well,
But-
I don't know. You already have
That's
heroes
what
that
sucks.
attack like 20 times a second, like Tychus or Tracer. They would just laugh at it.
Well,
But
that's
like,
a niche, isn't it? Like, like if
Yeah,
you have
yeah,
Tracer and she's on the wall, then sure.
Yeah.
Go ridiculous. It's part of hero design.
BKB, are you
Whoa.
okay?
What's up? What's up with the cam though?
That was exciting.
Okay.
Oh,
But that's what Jake said, right? Like for quick matches or like low hero league, like people just that's gonna be too imbalanced, you know. But I actually think in higher hero league level or in competitive, if you make the zombie wall harder to kill, then Nazeebo could be like a niche mid late game pick because he's tanky. He has this annoying poke. He has okay damage actually in the end, but it's like
yeah.
not such important damage, I guess. But still, like I think the only problem what makes him really weak is that the zombie wall is pretty useless, and the spiders are actually nice when you take the talents maybe for it. But I don't know. Like I actually think the problem is in the wall, and of course he doesn't have escapes. Does he have still sprint?
yeah.
No,
he
yeah,
he
no,
does.
he has
He
actually
lost it when he got the
He
range.
lost it.
he has the
Okay,
he got
he
the
lost
range
it.
Oh,
down.
Thing of the Deep.
Yeah. When he got that, he
But-
lost sprint.
Yeah,
there's
but KT
Sprint's
doesn't
only
have
like
escape
what,
as well. I don't know.
3 heroes now?
Yeah, but
I think
Kael'thas
this-
also only needs to throw his skills as he dies, and he's won the team fight. So I mean,
I
Yeah.
think actually after the scaling changes, he fell off a lot, and they never buffed his numbers again. They only nerfed him a bit. I think they.
They keep nerfing.
So yes. So I don't know.
I mean,
He's
he's
still
still
strong.
destroying me. You know, he's still
Yeah.
ruining my rank 1 experience. So I'm glad he's still getting consistently taken down. Need to
Yeah.
keep swinging at his kneecaps until he can't walk anymore. That's the important thing here.
And I
We'll
guess we
see.
should be happy we don't see Nazeebo KT like in the old days when you had the long flame strike and then they
Oh,
were throwing
God.
spiders at you, 2
That
screens
was
away, they killed you.
awful.
Yeah.
Disgusting.
Oh.
And then make up a copy. Kappa. Oh,
Um,
actually, when talents worked, right? There was some time. Did actually Abba copy talents work on the
I don't think it
heroes?
ever had talents. I think it had heroics.
It had heroics.
Heroics, for
talents.
sure, but not talents.
no,
Okay.
I don't think so.
No,
Not
no.
even in alpha days.
I don't
I
think so.
remember. Okay, I just remember people making Nazeebo copies, but I think it was because of the ravenous spirit. But yeah.
All right, moving on to
Bring
Rexxar.
back Ravenous.
No. Rexxar, basic attack range is up by 22%. This is basically a talent being worked into his range. They also upped his health, they upped his regen. And a throwing axe talent has been removed as it's now base. Let's just talk about that. This is just going to make him, he's supposed to be the one ranged warrior in the game. Are those stats like enough to even consider this as like a big change, BKB?
I don't think so, but we might see him. I don't know. Like, I think we might see him in Hero League more, but I never thought he was actually bad. It just, again, the other warriors are just stronger and they do their thingy. But Rexxar, like the Misha thingy, always the stun, it makes people get like off guard. Like, it's so easy sometimes to hit like a double or triple stun on Hero League with Rexxar. Or like even stun one person who like just didn't expect the Misha stun, He's not a bad hero, but I'm not sure if these stats are the right thing what he needs. But I think we might even see him in Hero League.
Okay.
'Cause
Well, they
quite decent buffs.
They buffed the leash range, and this is actually quite nice. Like, that's a sizable increase for the leash range, so that basically Misha can be further away from Rexxar. So this is, sets up some party ambush scenarios where you're talking about Misha catching people off guard. That's even easier to do or more flexible. And they also reduce the cooldown of the charge down to 10 seconds.
Yeah. I think I'm not sure. Again, it's the right direction. He needs a buff, but without playing him, I can't say if it's the right thing what he needs, because he was still good at stunning people, getting people off guard, But even like his tankiness, I don't think it was ever a problem, because you should never be in position to die, and also like you get like I don't know 16 talent, or was it 13 or 16 where you like self.
The ice block?
Feign
Yeah.
that.
16, I
Yeah.
think.
16. So I don't know. Just have to test it out and see if it's the right thing. But it's definitely right direction buffing him. So yeah. But I'm gonna definitely test him out.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's always like such a it's kind of the idea of a stun tank, but the problem is it's without the tank, and it just kind of means you can't play him as a solo warrior, but then he doesn't bring enough damage to be used in a dual frontline setup either. So I don't know. I think he still needs a lot more work than this. I think we'll see a few days of people trying to play him again, and he might, catch people off guard, like you say, but I don't think it's going to change much.
Well, the good news is dev comments say we're currently looking at doing a larger pass on him. So I think they are intending, based on this, to actually do a rework. So that is good news. Hasu, thoughts on him?
I mean, he needs some love, and they actually buff him a bit. I think it will help, but we probably have to wait for the whole rework, I think. I actually think in the double warrior setup, it is okay. Like, Misha has a decent setup for a stun. And Misha is pretty annoying as well. It's not so easy to kill. But as Snitch said, I think the damage he provides is not high enough for a double warrior setup. So that's why you don't see him at all. But yeah.
They're
I don't
just
know.
better picks
Yes.
to have like as a second warrior, or you even want to maybe pick a bruiser type or melee assassin instead of actually picking Rexxar. So that's also one of the main issue actually in competitive or like high level hero league, I guess.
So Dunk, where do you think they should take this hero? I mean, he's supposed to be kind of a different kind of warrior. He's the only double control unit hero in the game. Yes, there's triple for Vikings, but he has full control over his pet. Misha she doesn't have a full skill set, but she does have the charge. How how do you? I mean, what things could make her better? Would like little things. We talk about building talents, building things into the kit. They gave him base range.
I think the best suggestion I've seen so far is actually something I read on Reddit. I don't remember who said this, but people were talking about Rexxar changes, and they mentioned one of the frustrating things about Rexxar is that Misha like has weird behavior when someone walks into a brush. And they said like it would be really cool if Misha revealed targets while she was fixated on them. And I think something like maybe all he needs is just something like that to improve his usability, because I feel like that's really what's holding him back the most. Like, yeah, one of the problems is Rexxar doesn't feel that impactful. You're really playing Misha, and Rexxar is like your pet, which like is kind of backwards to how the character should feel, I think. But beyond that, I think it's just there's usability problems still, like even after all the work they've done on Misha, that's holding him back more than anything else.
What if they made Flare a base ability, not a talent? Like he got Flare as a 1 key or something, or I guess that's what Misha here is right now, but put it on 2.
Mhm.
Is that making the hero too complex?
No, I think you're only going to get people who want the complexity playing it anyway, right? Like, this is a character that's kind of like Vikings, where if you don't want the complexity, you're never going to pick this hero. So you don't need to worry about making it too complex, as long as it's not complex to play against. Like, adding Flare to the character wouldn't make it harder to understand what Rexxar is. Like, if that's in his baseline, it makes maybe Rexxar a little better and more usable for the players like that are actually playing him. So that would be fine, I think. It's just not as elegant as I would like to fix him.
It's just not. It's like what our guest said. It's not even about giving him some more stuff, but what actually he needs is the damage. Like my solution would be actually buff his auto attack damage. If you're trying to kill Misha and like you control her right, you get the auto attacks off, and it's rewarding for such a low HP warrior and not so big range to like do damage. So I think actually making his auto attacks one of the strongest in game as basic attack, like I think it's the right way, because or you punish him or you control the Misha correctly, for example in fights or brawls, then you get the auto attacks that deal a lot of damage. I think that would make most sense for me as a warrior player, and it's quite rewarding because again it's like KT. If you want to do the auto attacks, you might get punished because you're not so tanky. So I think it's something that could work out maybe.
Yeah, I could see that working.
I think also both of his ultimates feel very underwhelming, actually. Like he's almost like a hero without an ultimate. I don't know.
Yeah.
Especially
I completely agree.
The pig one.
Yeah. The boars are so bad until level 20, man. It's embarrassing.
It's so bad.
It's like I would trade his boar ultimate before level 20 for literally any one of KT's basic abilities. That's how bad it is. I mean, and that's a problem, right? Like, if you have a character who feels that way about their heroic, like, that's actually a problem. Yes, like, the ability does no damage. The boars don't hit the target if they're running away because they get out of range. Like, I don't know, man.
No.
It feels so uninspired.
Look, you have to spam only ultimate like 100 times to kill him with the boars. It's fine.
Like I mean, throw a bunch of damage on his autos, throw a bunch of damage on balls, or even the Misha. I think you'll see more play. Like if he's actually a threat, and then it's kind of like you have Misha guarding a threat. I think it's even a more interesting playstyle, and it's a more interesting design that way. But I think the problem is they've already slapped a warrior label on him, and it might just be too late for that. I don't know.
I just really think the auto attacks could be something good, and also why not make like the Misha ult, right, where he gets stronger? Why not make it like for 4 seconds, but make him imba? So actually, when you pop the ult, there are people who are supposed to control the Misha. Like it's like I don't know, make it more skillful, like make it more. Like it makes sense. I don't know.
Like I want Misha to be so broken when you pop so fast that your Murden has to haymaker it out of the fight or you lose. That's how broken
like
it
that. Yes.
Like you just lose. Like
I want Misha
BP the Misha, dude. We're gonna lose.
I want Misha to pop out and she stage dives into the team. 5-man moshes. She's just like insane. She's like pulling all the aggro.
No, it's just like make it. I don't know.
I mean, I know what you mean.
Fun, useful.
Define my Misha. She's going in.
I mean, other ultimates you have to respect. If Rexxar press one of the ultimates, you just keep fighting. There's no difference if he presses one or not. It's like a I know,
Troll
like
is in,
I get you.
yeah, Troll is in a flank. You have to respect that, or he gets a 5-man stun. But Misha, like, I don't know, like pops a fucking boar and nothing happens. Nice,
It's
cool story.
it's true.
Yeah.
Chad is actually asking why you guys used C9. This is for you, Dunk. Why you guys use Rexxar on Dragon Cherry? This was more around BlizzCon. It's just for controlling top lane, right?
I mean, this was like 5 months ago. Honestly, the game, there's been so much power creep on the assassins since then. It's like, it's not really comparable. I mean, Li Ming, Kael'thas, like Thrall is insane right now, and he was probably good then too, but nobody was really playing with him that much yet. He saw some play in EU at that time. There's Greymane. Like, think of all these heroes that can threaten Rexxar without interacting with Misha. Like, Misha isn't going to be able to get to Li Ming, but Li Ming can kill Rexxar with one volley of spells. Greymane can dive past Misha. Kael'thas would probably just kill Misha in one combo. Like, so the characters, the way they interact is just not the same now as it was back then. For the same reason you don't see Leoric see any play right now. Like, he's just garbage compared to what the damage is doing right now.
Yep.
Feels bad, man.
Feels bad, man.
Okay.
Unfortunately, Nazeebo's Gargantuan was taken down this patch, so we can all rest easy. The return of Rexxar is soon.
Mm-hmm.
Rip Gary.
Riggedy wrecked. All right, well, those are the patch notes for this week. A pretty small patch coming in. I'd say Rexxar, Butcher, those are the only two that seem to have gotten a decent bit of love. So if you see a little bit more Rexxar and Butcher in your Hero League games and so forth, that's probably why.
Yeah, don't flame them.
Don't tilt.
They're trying to test the patch. Don't flame the players who are testing them.
I'll do my best.
Yeah, try and restrain yourself.
I'm flaming
I know how difficult
BKB,
it can
that's
be.
for sure.
Oh, my Rexxar is Gucci. No worries. You don't have
Every
to. Flame.
time Breeze picks Rexxar, I flame him, so I have to be fair, you know?
BKB,
Okay,
did you just
okay.
learn the word Gucci? Because you've said it like 400 times today.
Yes.
I think you picked it up for the rest of Liquid. Like, I remember ages ago, this was Prague. It was when we boot camped there, we boot camped with Rocket, and Chris was on Rocket at the time, and I remember he wrote Gucci to me, but he wrote Gutchy, and I made fun of him for it ever since. But I think it just kind of spread around Liquid, and now they all say Gucci.
Thanks, Snitch.
Yeah. Something like that.
All right. Well, we got Tracer as our next topic. Tracer, of course, has received a pretty big launch. They've gone out of their way to do this whole push with Overwatch. There's been promotion all over the place. I even saw a thread about Tracer and Heroes on the Overwatch forums or the Overwatch Reddit, which was pretty interesting, seeing that the level of crossover. And she has a rather handsome loading screen. I can do it, guys. The game will load. I believe
in you.
God,
Nice screen. Nice trace.
I'm
Please,
trying so
fix.
hard.
Please.
Come
Come
on, you can do it, Jake. Jake? Hello?
Jake?
See, I told you this loading screen looks fantastic. Excellent. See, there it is.
Just wait till the chat finds out this was pre-recorded. You still got it wrong.
Damn.
No, guys, this is live, okay?
Is it?
Now you have to put a shoe on your head, or else we don't know it's live, Snitch.
Yeah,
So.
Dunk, bring your beard over here. I'll put that on my head.
Okay.
Oh, black screen of
You
death.
got it? Alright.
Nice.
We're trying, boys. We're trying.
Are we filling?
I think Tracer is
Yeah, I
censored,
think
that's
this
why.
is what it feels like.
She censored because her pose. Her pose was triggering too
Easter
many
egg?
nerds.
I can't find
I
the Easter
heard.
egg.
Are you serious, Snitch?
No.
I didn't try that hard.
The Easter egg is the new skins.
I saw something on Reddit. I didn't try it myself yet. Oh,
No?
it's
Here we
working
go.
this time.
Oh, there we go.
Oh.
Wow, so sick.
Nice.
So
Nice.
the Easter egg is actually they have the Shogun Artanis and then the Shadowpaw Lily skin. They show it off here. These are two new skins coming.
Mm.
It's the Shadowpaw Lily,
That's dope.
and it's like like a threat for the Overwatch team or something. And you click again. Oh, maybe the Artanis one needs to click somewhere else. There's definitely.
But
a
I
way
have to be I have to be honest. When I logged in and I saw the Overwatch thing, it was really awkward. I don't know. It's bigger than the Heroes of the Storm on the left top corner. You know, like
there's another
it's confusing.
That's foreshadowing if I've ever seen it.
Oops, I didn't mean to invite you.
Overwatch dominates heroes. Blizzard knew the whole time. Look at this! Look at this loading screen from 10 years ago.
It says click on the Lily skin chat.
Oh, there you go.
You're joking, but
Feudal
probably
Fury.
Overwatch esports will be bigger than Heroes, I think.
Nice
it comes out.
attitude, Hasselhoff. Feels bad, man.
What happens if you click on the skin, Jay?
I just showed it, man. We saw our
No,
tennis.
If you click on the skin?
It turns into our tennis.
Oh, okay.
So it goes from Lily to our tennis.
To our tennis.
The Shogun Artanis.
Nice.
They showed this in one of the videos. I forget which one it was. But, okay, well, Tracer, she's brand new. She's out here. Playable, blah, 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 blah. We talked about her a bit last week, the first impressions. Snitch, Hasu, we haven't heard you guys' thoughts. Even BKB, you weren't here as well. So let's start with you, Snitch. You're an assassin player. You've only played a few games, you said, but how do you feel about this hero?
I mean, first impressions is she's stupidly mobile, stupidly punishing, and stupidly hard to punish, which seems like a very bad combination of traits. So we'll see where she stands. I mean, I haven't had the opportunity to practice in scrims with her at all or anything, but my first impression is definitely that she even punishes like Li Ming very hard. Like my first game on Li Ming when I was playing Hero League recently, or the first time I played against Tracer, I played Li Ming, and I've never felt less safe as Li Ming than the first time I played against Tracer, where I actually felt like there was somebody on the enemy team who was constantly taking advantage of me using my blink. So I mean, her damage is really good if you have pulse bomb up. It feels slightly underwhelming if you don't. So I'm worried that she'll have too much of a timer between her like ability to have a lot of impact. But my first impression is that she's good. So I mean, we'll see.
So last week, one of the things we talked about is just her lack of lane clear. How much of an issue do you think that is for the hero?
I mean, it's something. At 13, you have the AoEW, but obviously that comes in really late into the game. She's never. I mean, I don't think she could be a great solo laner, but I mean, for example, you have Thrall, who I wouldn't say has a lot of lane clear either, and he could still dominate solo lane. I don't think she'll ever be at that level, but I think you can play with heroes that don't have clear if you have heroes with clear around them. Like, I mean, Karazim has no clear.
Yeah.
Thrall is clear, like I said.
Tyrande.
But you still see these heroes come into play as long as you pick them with that in mind. So I don't think that will limit her. As long as, you know, there's still wave clear heroes in the meta and you can grab them with her.
Hasu?
She'll be map dependable.
Map dependable? What maps, BKB? You think that she'll be good on?
I didn't want to interrupt. Let Hasu say first. I'm going to finish later.
I actually didn't play her myself yet, but Nurok and Dagmok played her quite some games. Nurok says she's broken, like she's too strong for sure. And I think it's probably true. I think she will get a nerf within the next 2 or 3 weeks. But the only thing I realized, it feels a bit awkward to control her. So I think what you want to do with her is holding down the right mouse button all the time. Because if you I think that's the most efficient way to control her, and I think it feels a bit weird. So,
well, when you're used to stutter stepping, it's hard to adjust to that, isn't it?
Yes, exactly. So, like Darkmog is always using he's walking around with just holding the right mouse button. So for him, Tracer felt very naturally. But when I saw Nurok playing, it looks a bit off because you stutter step forward and she keeps walking. Like she never stops. So, like I think I guess it's just a practice thing. After playing her a few times, you will get used to it. But at first, I thought it's a bit weird. And then I think she's very strong. As Snitch said, she's super mobile, like punishing heroes, but it's very hard to punish her. So, not sure.
Okay, BKB, you're talking about... Oh, go ahead, Snitch.
I was going to say, like I said, my one concern with the hero is just that it feels like without her ult, she doesn't have as much impact as other heroes, perhaps. So my only worry is that maybe she has too long a timer to get the ult up consistently to have a lot of impact. But aside from that, I don't think she has any problems at all. So
Okay, BKB, you were talking about map dependency.
Yeah, like I think on some of the maps where wave clear is like really important, like we will barely see her, but on maps like where it's I don't know, for example, Sky or Cursed, where it's not so much about wave clear, but then again it kind of is maybe. Like we'll see her, and on those maps where you don't need that much of wave clear, I think she's gonna be really strong. Like I guess the most of her damage comes from the ultimate, but I think like even mid late game with some of the talents she gets some nice damage in, and also the wave clear on 13. I guess it's too late, but she still has some. But also from what I talk with Chris and also with other players who play her, she seems to be really like I don't know, too overwhelming, and there's not enough counters. I don't know, like the only things what I come up with is Zeratul and Brightwing. Brightwing because it's a click CC that you don't have to aim, and that's why you get the hex all the time. Because like everything that you have to aim, a good player should be able to dodge. And Zeratul is something that counters her because of the Warpole Blade, especially, and also because of the blinks. So those are the two counters that I can come up with. There's like not enough counters for her, I think. But yeah,
Interesting.
I don't know.
Dunk, after another week, how you feel about her? Still pretty much the same as last week?
I revised my initial position. I think she's unbelievably broken, honestly. Like my first impression was that she would be like she would tickle in like my impression of what the hero would be is she would tickle in actual team fighting, and like the wave clear would be too much to overcome. Like you'd get behind a little bit with her or whatever, and then lose the game because she's not impactful unless she's ahead, was what I expected her to be based on her kit. But after playing with the numbers and like just seeing how absurd it is that she gets like 28 blinks, I think if you take an exact count over a 10-second span, then like she just feels bonkers, like unbelievably impossible to play against except for a select number of heroes.
Especially versus a good player. It's like, it's too overwhelming.
I'm trying to think of what other heroes would be good against her. Chat just suggested Vala. I could see a Hungering Arrow build being nice, but Hungering Arrow build is out of the meta already. I can't. So ETC with Power Slide, I guess it's a larger radius, but
you can dodge it.
Yeah, like I mean, any CC is good against her. It's whether or not you can actually hit her with the CC, and as the skill level gets higher, it becomes a less consistent.
Yeah.
That's why I mentioned Brightwing, because you actually don't have to hit it, and it's so good versus her, especially if you take the duration for the hex. She's dead. She's squishy. You just have to click the hex. But other than Zeratul and Brightwing, I really sit down and thought about it. There's like, I don't know, Judgment. You can still blink out of it or something. What the fuck?
You can use the iframe. You can use the iframes to dodge a lot of stuff too. That feels really frustrating.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I feel like recalls should not make you invulnerable because it's like so impossible to punish, in my experience. Like I've had tracers like win 1v1s and stuff because they like recall and like they get into a bad position, but because their recall made them invulnerable for a second and gave them 2 charges of blink, it didn't matter. They just like blink away anyway. Like they'll recall out of like an almost safe position into the middle of your team, and you can't punish them because to force the recall you needed to use an ability that they dodge with recall, and they get 2 more blinks to get away. Like it's so frustrating.
The 2 Qs after the recall is so strong, actually.
Mm-hmm.
That's maybe one of the talents that will get nerfed for sure, I believe. Because, as you said, even if you can punish her, like forcing her E is usually good, but then she doesn't care because she has 2 stacks of Q, so she gets out anywhere.
Yeah, at level 7 too. That's pretty early. That seems like a level
it's very early.
13 talent, really. It's very impactful.
Well, it was also like Sylvanas, the mind control, but then again, when you cast it, you can click Q 3 times away, and she's gonna just be so far that the mind control will not do anything, So I don't know. Even she wrecks mind control.
You're spending a heroic to try to kill Tracer once, right?
And also, like she can get out. Like you just spam your Q, you dash away really far away, and the mind control is wasted.
Yeah.
I don't know, like she's just too dumb. She just laughs at everyone and shakes her nice booty.
Yeah.
So,
But no one scrimmed with her yet, or did anyone do it? Because we didn't.
No, we
haven't
haven't.
started scrims yet.
Yeah.
Well, I know
So-
she won't be playable in NA until the qualifier number 3 for our second regional. I don't know when she first becomes. She probably won't be playable in EU, and even for she'll be activated for tours.
I think.
Should be at tours.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think in tours she will be playable. I think for the third qualifier not, but afterwards.
Yeah. She just for tours
I
it should
guess.
be.
Yeah. So I guess afterwards teams will start to practice. Yeah.
Yep.
Let's see.
Okay.
I mean, so far every hero that came out lately was too strong and got nerfed within the first 2 weeks or something. Li Ming, Sul.
Yeah.
What else did we have?
I mean, Tahaka is also the most recent release, but he hasn't gotten nerfed yet.
That's true.
Oh,
yeah.
he was he had the worst talents, but as a hero with his kit, he was the most balanced. But his talents were so trash. So like, if you they would have made him better talents, he would be broken the way was Li Ming or Xul. But because of the shitty talents he has on level 13 or 16, comparing to other heroes, like
Yeah, it's
he's
true.
actually
You don't like having a
But-
worse Relentless? With
Yeah,
less uptime?
Yeah.
I mean,
But-
tongue range is pretty good. Come on.
Tongue
Don't
range is
hate.
absurd.
It's
Like,
yeah,
that's the thing.
But
If
it's
you
not.
look, no, I feel like if you look at the 20% on the talent for tongue range, you're like, that talent sounds like it's trash. And then you play against it and you're like, dear God, I got tongue from across the screen. How does 20% work? What math are you using?
MLG global tongue.
Yeah,
From
dude.
base to base.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean-
The 20% feels insane to me.
I don't know. I guess after some time, actually, you're right. Like, those talents are not that bad, but I'm still comparing to some other hero level 16 talents that are like completely game changing or something. You know, it's still like drag is so hard to hit. Like, if the player, I don't know. Like, I think pro players should be, in most of the cases, most of the scenarios, should be able to dodge the Q, because the wind up time and everything is just, I don't know. It's
But isn't it
it's not
kind
even
of
about the range.
like you literally have an ability that if you hit it, it has to get cleansed or the target dies, no matter what. Like, that's my problem with drag mostly, is if drag lands, you have to cleanse it or the target dies, and there's nothing you can do about it. I feel like it's super frustrating.
Depends.
Yeah, it's better than a regular stun for sure.
Oh, it's long.
Yeah.
Because it pulls the
Of
target
course.
even out of position.
It's
So
so
if you
easy
hit
to
it,
line up
it's-
another stun after it. It's like free. I mean, if you hit
Yeah.
that G-lapse is coming, right? It's gonna happen. So
Yeah, it's quite good.
all right, well, let's actually transition and talk about Leicester. Uncle Leicester, as I like to call it. So Leicester was the first European regional event where one team advanced. That would be Dignitas this time around. And Dig has proved dominance for pretty much the year so far. You guys qualified very quickly in Season 1, and in Season 2, same dealie. Or summer season. Without dropping a single map, correct?
Yep.
That's quite the feat.
It's the JPL blessing. He's done it before. He did it again. Base JPL. Drop your
Oh.
mic Hogus in chat. Thank you.
Wait, wait, when he was...
Do you think
it was Navi
Do you
in
think
Prague?
that advantage comes from your draft preparations, or do you think your play skill level is so much better, or do you think it's a combination of both?
I think it's a combination of both. I think we prepare a lot. I don't know how. I'm not really sure how much other teams prepare. I can't really judge. I know compared to old Dignitas, our preparation is like 10,000% increase. You know, the BlizzCon Dignitas, the difference is like night and day. With this team, our preparation goes like above and beyond. And I know every series we come into with ideas of how we want to approach every map, what differences we change against each team. But even then, I think, you know, each of our individual players is, you know, I mean, you could say, you know, whatever top you want, top 2, top 3, top 4, however you perceive everyone. But I think everyone in every role is solid. So
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a combination of both. I don't know.
Yeah, that's totally reasonable. I was just curious.
All right, let's talk about the event in general. So during our pre-show, one thing that Hasu and BKB were talking about is travel, not even the flights, but the in-between. Hasu, tell us.
Well, it was mainly a problem when we were going home, So we got picked up at 4:30 a.m. and then the flight was at like I don't know 7:10 or no, it was later. Sorry, it was like 9:10 or something. And I think from the hotel to the airport it should have been maybe 2 hours or something. So we were in the cab, he was going, and then after 2 hours we were still not there, and then after 3 hours he stopped and he was like, "Oh guys, I think we have a problem." So he stopped and we were not at the airport. I was like, "Hey, what's up?" And then he's like, maybe you should take the underground." So apparently he didn't know where the airport was, and I was like, "No, I would like to see you as like driving us to the airport because we don't have that much time left, and I have no idea how to get there." And then he made a call. So I guess he asked someone, and it sounded like the guy on the call was also confused why he's asking. So then he started driving again, and then we arrived at the airport like 5 minutes before boarding, but we actually made it. It was close, but we made it, and I couldn't believe because we had so much time in before that we
Yeah.
that we almost missed the flight. It was pretty hilarious.
That's awful.
Hmm.
How about you,
Pretty
Snitch and
awful.
BKB? Do you guys have decent experiences going to England? Or Snitch, you're
Yeah,
from
like
England.
everything was fine. Like the girl that like took care of all the teams, like it was really nice. We would get like anything what we want.
That's
But
awesome.
yeah, like I don't know. I just don't understand. We asked like I think 2 times after the events. Like I mean, this time the next tournament, LAN event, is like in 2 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks, and we're gonna meet again like everyone else. But they still don't let us hang out with the other teams after the tournament, which obviously is not the most important part. It's about winning the tournament and participating. But all the flights, most of the people had like after the tournament, like 4 in the night, you know, like so we can't even chill or drink some beers or stuff because we have to drive bus for 2 hours and then the plane.
Oh, that
So-
sucks.
But the studio and the setup was really great. I really liked it. It was one of my favorite actually. It was
Yeah.
really nice.
That's a brand new studio, right?
I don't know.
Yes.
It was brand new.
I think it's
Yeah,
new,
no,
yeah.
Yeah, it is pretty new. They told me. Yeah.
Yeah, I was pretty impressed actually. I didn't expect ESL UK to do that great a job. I mean, they've never really done anything like this before. I don't think anything as like big as this. Yeah, I think they pulled it off really well. I mean, the event was great. We had Will as our player manager, who was the other player manager, and like BKB said, the player managers were great. They did everything for us. They helped us around, get food or anything. Travel for me was I went to Poland to boot camp and then came back to England by plane, which was very strange. But I mean, the culture wasn't that different for me because obviously I live here, so it was about the same as it is back home. But yeah, I mean the event was great and really well run, I thought.
Yeah.
Well, it was a very good viewing experience. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Honestly, I was impressed too with the way the studio looked. I like the way they executed the map on the stage. It wasn't
Yeah.
like the craziest stage like we had in Korea and whatnot, what we've seen in the past there, but it still was elegantly done, and I thought it was just a nice touch, rather than the standard esports
Exactly.
stage that we see at every single event. So props to them on that. Looking at Leicester, I have everything except Leicester open. I'm the worst. So the matchups, Liquid, I mean, you guys were considered the favorites by a lot of people going into your group. I believe that was Group A. But my insanity, Hasu and crew, caught you guys a bit off guard, huh?
I just actually when we went in the tournament, I think we had high hopes, but in the end, like it's still no excuse. But I think we prepared quite a lot. But in the end, it happened that we focused so much on like drafting something specific, or we just overthought the drafts. That in the end, the drafts we played were really just
What
bad.
happened?
So ghosts just
No,
appeared
so-
on BKB scan.
So, no. My mom came in. She told me
Ah.
to be more quiet. So I think we just like most of the drafts we overdrafted ourselves, and I don't know. But yeah, like my Insanity played well and Dig played well, so I don't know. I don't have any excuses. Just have to prepare more. But for my team, I think the issue was with the drafts. So yeah.
What do you guys think of the rest of the competition? Right, obviously it was My Insanity, Dig, Liquid, and Fnatic in the top 4 that went to playoffs. But how did Navi, Sandwich Monkey, Silence Monkey, Sealed? How does Europe look as a whole?
You asking to me now?
I'm asking to everyone.
Mm.
I'll give this to Hasu.
So
I
I
think the
think
most
Digni-
interesting opinion is Dunk, but go ahead. I want Dunk to flame Europe.
It's actually true, yeah. But so I think Dignitas is above everyone else for sure. They've proven it again. At least one level, maybe even a bit more. I think if you want to beat them, you have to prepare very specific just for Dignitas. And then the rest of the teams, I think Fnatic, us, Liquid, and Navi might be very equally strong. Depends on the day, maybe. I don't know. Maybe Fnatic and us are slightly stronger, but I don't really know because I haven't played Navi lately. On the other hand, they haven't had a lot of success in any of the tournaments, so like usually they're overhyped, I think, given that they also always have roster changes. And then I guess your question is about all the monkey teams. So they have weird names, and I also think most of them are not so strong. But in each of these teams, there's like 1 or 2 good players. So in the Sandwich Monkeys, you have like ADRD and Crosby, but then they have 3 rather unknown players with like no LAN experience at all, so they get crushed. Then you have like CLG with like the old Gamers 2 guys, but then they have Kreku and Rutsuf or Rushuf or however you pronounce it.
Yeah.
They also don't have that much experience, so I think they are playing okay, but they are far from the like really strong European teams. That's my view, at least.
Dunk, how do you feel about Europe?
That's actually really interesting to hear because I think in the past we've considered Europe to be the region with the more broad team base, if that makes sense. Like there's more teams in the 3 through 8th range in Europe, I would say, or the 3 through 12th range or whatever that could contend with each other. And it seems like you're saying that now you're getting a more stratified tier list, which is more like NA looked like last, like in spring and before that. And now NA, it feels like they're a little closer. So it's interesting that you think the top teams have pulled farther away than the lower teams, whereas in NA, I think it's gotten closer together. Just an interesting...
I mean, maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. How do the other guys feel in Europe? I mean, for Snitch, it's probably unfair to ask because it's always easy, but what do
You're
you
all
think, Gabby?
garbage.
Channeling your inner Zoya. I'm so proud of you, Snitch.
Channel my bakery. EU is easy.
Oh God, that interview.
Kill everyone at once. Here we go.
I laughed. I laughed so hard when I read the interview. Like it's no longer. He said something along the lines of, "It's no longer the goal to be the best in Europe because, frankly, it's easy. We want to be the best in the world."
It's too easy. He said it. Too easy.
I didn't say that. Don't get mad
No,
at me.
yeah.
I am
No
a
one's
neutral
mad at
party.
you.
Be mad at bakery.
Yeah.
He's the scum.
Seems good.
So, all right. Well, so looking at the meta from the event, did anything stand out to you guys in particular about the current state of the meta? What do you guys like or dislike about it?
I mean, in the words of Fnatic Breeze, Kael'thas has returned to us. I think he's pretty proven to be basically the top assassin on most maps. Like, he's so difficult to deal with because even if, you fly behind him and gust him into your team, he's still like, score! I get all my bums out, and he's done his job. So, I mean, his one weakness doesn't even feel like much of a weakness anymore because he does enough damage that he can win a fight on his own just by having been near their team. So I think he's, especially with Greymane gone, I think he's ushered towards the top of the assassin tier list. With kind of like,
Yeah.
the Li Mings and the other range assassins. Yeah,
There are
Falstad,
other range
slightly
assassins?
below. Yeah, Falstad. Don't forget Falstad. That one's
Okay,
pretty
yeah.
stacked. And then there's like the occasional Lunara.
So-
That's
so-
my range tier list.
Zoya, who refuses to actually quit the show, is in chat asking questions. Why do you guys still pick Lunara so much?
He called us shitters though.
Thanks, BKB.
Clarify.
And you changed it to guys.
I mean, I think Lunara. I don't know. I think once you get past kind of Kael'thas leaving Falstad, everything's basically the same now. Like, I don't think there's any hero that's like standout from that point onwards. So, I mean, Lunara, the 7 is really good on certain maps, like shrines. We would pick her for the shrine control because if you get Lunara with 7 on the shrine, there's no way you're gonna win unless you can hard dive her, like Fnatic tried to do against us. They knew they were never gonna win a shrine, so they played like the crazy falling sword leap style where they just tried to all in us. But I mean, I think we picked Lunara for that reason. I think she's kind of similar on maps like kind of Tomb and kind of Battlefield, where she gets a lot of value out of the 7 trait. And I think she's also super mobile, so she kind of works good with picks like Illidan. Like, she kind of fits the Illidan comp where you can have a Lunara and she can kind of hold her own and put out a lot of damage from range. So I think that's kind of the appeal of Lunara. Outside of her, you have things like Vala, and Vala is always kind of like okay. She does damage. I don't know, she's nothing special, especially since they nerfed Strafe and Multi-Shot. She's kind of just short range, puts out damage. Jaina's really bad, and then, I mean, that's the rule. You can only have 2 mages at once. So as long as Kael'thas and Lee being are strong, Jaina will be trash.
Seems to be the case.
Yeah, we have the in-joker.
Falstad
There can
is
only
a
be 2
mage.
manes.
Falstad is a mage now.
Well,
He's
yeah,
no
he's
longer
kind
auto
of, he's a
attack
hybrid
Falstad.
mage,
He's
yeah.
a mage.
So I mean, I don't know. I think there's just always kind of like a few really strong picks, and the rest of the assassins are just, or ranged assassins are just kind of a mix of what you need and what you can get.
Yeah. And I think we drafted, or someone drafted the. Oh, I think we did versus My Insanity. We played versus Lunar. We had like Tassadar Uther, and it was just too much for, like, even for double support, it was too much versus Lunar. So I think she's in a quite good spot, especially when you have only support like that heals, that is Uther, you know. So
Yeah, I mean, definitely since we started pulling from Korea and started playing Uther again, I think that we were already seeing some Lunara, mainly from My Insanity before then, but she's definitely picked up a lot more since Uther started going into the meta, because she's definitely solid in Uther. Cause it's very difficult for him to keep up with the sustain unless you can use him for an all-in. It's kind of like a weird matchup where you can all in with him and maybe kill Lunara, but if you don't, then you lose really hard. So it's, yeah.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
I agree.
so she's probably like 4th best assassin, like ranged.
I don't know about
pretty
that,
much.
but she's
Fourth,
good for
fifth.
sure.
Yeah,
she's good
I don't
for
know
sure.
if I'd say she's a guaranteed
But-
4th, but yeah, she's definitely good.
I mean, do we
Yeah,
count
but what
Zagara and
else is there?
Sylvanas as
No,
assassins?
I mean like hyper ones, like what you have,
Right.
like KT, Falstad, Li Ming, and what, like Zagara is not the one who wants to stand behind and do all the damage. You
I mean,
know?
Thrall's
Like,
definitely
I'm
up there.
talking-
He's melee, but
No, I'm talking about ranged ones.
range, okay.
Specifically ranged ones that can actually carry as a solo ranged assassin. Like, you don't want to have solo ranged Zagara.
I mean,
you know?
in the Illidan comp, she works for sure. Like, we drafted it, I think, twice. And then, as you said, depending on the opponent's healer, she gets extra value. And then, as Snitch said, I think her level 7 is actually broken. Like, it kills minion waves one shot. It kills, like, these skeletons. And on Battlefield, the Immortal, it's so strong against it. So, if you have the chance and it fits into the draft, I think, why not? It's probably better than any other you can get.
Yeah.
Yeah, as far as melees go, I think Illidan and Thrall are still dominating. Don't think anyone expected anyone else. Pretty much
Zool.
there's been like very minimal changes to those heroes. They're
Yeah.
still as strong as they ever were.
Yeah.
Dehaka saw a lot of play this tournament. I thought he was quite key in a lot of drafts. He's good against, the whole Vikings sort of global soak, and he's good as a counter into Falstad.
I mean, he's good because he's a global, and his kit,
Mhm.
like if he burrows in, you actually hit a Q. I think he's very good then, and I think just because he has the global ability, I think he's a good pick. I think the split soak he provides with the wave clear makes him awesome. Actually, makes him extremely strong.
So BKB, when we first asked you about Dehaka, you mentioned the additional damage versus minions and mercs as a must get at level 1. But we're seeing
Yeah.
a lot of Dehaka players grab the agility, the movement speed, questing talent level 1 as well. How do you feel about that, just for that hero in general?
I think actually it's otherwise. Like I see now more people taking the wave clear, like at least in Europe.
It's pretty mixed. In
but
NA, we see
I
a
don't-
lot of the agility, actually.
I mean, I tried agility and it's fine, but I still prefer going for wave clear. I don't know. Like, I think you can go for agility maybe on dragon, for example. I don't know actually even.
I think
I-
in
I
Leicester,
just-
almost everyone skilled the wave clear, right?
Yeah.
In Europe, yes.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think so.
So like I haven't seen that much of an A, but if in an A people take the agility, then I don't know, it's good for them, I guess. But I think the wave clear is I think the wave clear is really good. You can split push a lot faster, and you have more wave clear, and you can actually lane with the Haka because of the wave clear talent.
True.
So
I think Airho skilled it, or I think
Yeah, her definitely goes with the agility. Not always, but he
Yeah.
definitely picks it.
not okay. Yeah, I think I saw it.
but it's fine.
I think all his level 1 talents are fine, right? It's just
Yeah.
depends on what you need, I guess.
The cool thing about the
Yeah.
agility is it just not only is it enable tongues easier, but it's really good for body blocking. Like when you have the full stacks, like you can really just outmaneuver people.
Yeah.
No, it's cool. It's interesting to see the differences in the diversity. I just wanted to hear your thoughts on it as an update moving forward. So yeah, a lot of the Haka play across the board. He's really risen up. Pretty much all of the new heroes are in the meta, which is actually just good for the game. It's definitely fun to see new things and new strategies, and it introduces new stuff to the metas. Also, ever since the changes Blizzard has been making, we're starting to see a little bit more Sylvanas. She's kind of starting to create back up a little bit more frequently, which is exciting. Who else?
Good.
Dunk, you looked pained by the Sylvanas comment.
I just think heroes that make killing buildings, like, instead of winning team fights, the way to win the game are boring and bad for the game overall. Like Abathur, Sylvanas, Zag, like, just they're not fun to play with and against.
BFG against Cloud9. Alright, sorry. Let's just carry on.
Nice. So now we know the secret dig cheese versus Cloud9 at Worlds this year. Awesome.
Yeah, you know, if EDG had pulled out Medevac 20 BFG against Cloud9, they would have been tilted off the face of the earth. That game was over from the minute one. Hammer locks in BFG, Dunks just throws his headset down.
I mean, I would take my headset off if we were playing against Hammer, because you don't need comms to beat Hammer, so that at least would be reasonable.
Savage. Poor Hammer.
So,
She's so good
yeah.
right now. Why are you taking her down?
Okay,
She's
so
so
underrated.
if she's so good, you can pick her in every one of your games. We'll leave it open for last pick. You can just have it. That's fine. No worries.
But what
Sounds good.
what if they actually do it and beat you? Will you feel salty?
Yeah, I'll be
Because
turbo salty.
Turbo
She's
salt.
she's actually quite good. Like she's underrated, I think. I don't know.
Yeah,
Maybe
same.
there's
It's like Nazeebo, just tearing
And we're
apart my
talking
hero
about
league,
Hammer. Okay.
sneaking
yes
her way into
about
competitive.
Surgeon Hammer. You don't like her, Hasu?
I mean, you have to ban Li Ming then, otherwise you get one shot from one screen away, and you're fucking you
There's
stand
a lot-
still.
There's a
Did you see
lot
that?
of.
Did you see that? Like,
Like, what do I-
There's-
did you see that like sneaked in talent from the rework where it gives you block and you can't be moved if you're in siege mode? That one
there's a
seemed pretty
Haka
interesting.
counter.
What?
She had like it was like a bug where it was showing on her siege mode where it was one of her. I think she has a rework coming up, so it was one of her
Really?
rework talents,
Wait,
but
Hammer?
it like
Huh.
rooted her in siege mode, so you couldn't move her if she was sieged, which I
Nice.
thought was really interesting.
She can't be
Probably
stunned.
not actually useful at all, and won't change her at all even slightly. But it sounds really cool, so I can appreciate it.
Okay.
Nice.
I actually think she's pretty bad, but
Yeah.
Oh,
you, I mean,
come on. Nazeebo underrated.
that means you
Hammer
can't Stitches
underrated.
hook her, and that's what she's needing. Like if Stitches can't hook her, she's tier 1.
What is this, like 18 months ago? Stitches with Hammer, top
Yeah,
tier
exactly.
heroes in the meta?
she used to be good, but
Yeah.
And then she lost like 300, like 600 health or something, and then she disappeared from the game completely.
yeah.
Rest in peace. The Barlow Nazeebo hammer triangle.
Yeah. The okay. The first assassin.
They were the
gods
first
of-
assassins.
Yeah, they were
Yeah.
the gods of range assassin, and then now they're all garbage. So power creep much
Paula's
wizard.
not garbage.
Yeah.
Justin needs that money. Push out some new OP ranged.
Dang.
Wow. Excellent. Well, Leicester, Uncle Leicester, was a very wondrous event. Dig clutched it out, undefeated tournament for them. My Insanity a close second. Liquid Fnatic third, fourth. So this sets us up for Tours, which is only three
weeks.
weekends away. And Tours will be the second and final qualifier for summer for Europe. Dig can play and win. They just cannot re-qualify. So second place of that event, if Dig won, would be the ones to qualify. So for Snitch, I have the question for you. It's got to be a little bit
just-
different preparing
thing is-
for an event when it's just
Sorry.
prizing. Go ahead.
The only thing is that you missed that if it's a team that isn't My Insanity comes second, they play a tiebreaker.
Oh,
I think is
I did
important
not
to
know
mention.
that.
Yeah, if it's not My Insanity that comes second and we still win, it's they both play a best of 3 to decide who goes to Sweden.
Oh, that's so
Yep.
cool. That's
Best of
actually
3 or best of 5?
I
3.
believe they said 3 last time. They might change it.
I
The
missed that.
announcement said 3, and I called it out
The
on
announcement
Twitter.
said
Like,
3.
this is a really important match. It should
Yeah,
probably
so
be best
did
of
I.
5.
That's-
But oh well.
That's,
So wait. Even like worst case, like I'm not saying My Insanity won't get out of groups, but if they have a
That's
hard
what he's
group and you
saying.
don't,
Okay, the only way that you don't have to play a best of 3 against the team that got second in the first one, like, so let's say Liquid got second in the next in Tours, right? And Dig got first, then you've both gone second. The only way you don't have to play out the best of 3 tiebreaker is if MYI doesn't even make it to Tours.
So if
the team that
we,
got
if we lose on Saturday, BKB, and you get second after Dignitas, you're qualified.
but you're not
So
gonna
you have to-
lose. I
So
don't
you
want
have
you
to
to
cross
lose
fingers.
qualifiers.
We lose in the qualifiers
No,
already.
no.
And then-
I want you to qualify. I want to meet you and play best of 3 or best of 5 for the spot.
Yes.
So it's
Yeah.
Gucci. Qualify.
Be cool.
Anyway, to answer your question about preparing for an event, I think you were saying like where it's not as important for us, right? That was the yeah. So I mean, I guess it's just about which team we don't want to see at Sweden and who we feel like punishing really hard and
Ooh.
losing on purpose to keep out of Sweden. No, I mean
The
that's
bracket gaming begins, boys.
no, we're going full MVP on this one. I remember they said something along the lines of once they knew they were going to Korea, they dropped all their sort of not grudge, but they started scrimming with TownHall and they put all their time into making Korea the best region. I don't think we have any plans to do otherwise. Like we plan to play our best at Tours. We plan to get first place again, but by no means are we planning, to hold back. We won't change anything. Like we're still gonna play for first. We're still gonna. If that helps Europe, then that's great for us. Like I don't think it'd be fair on anyone if we started, slacking or not putting our all in, even if it's an event that doesn't matter for us. Like we still intend to give our 100%.
Awesome. Well, that'll be in a few weeks. The final qualifiers are this weekend, I believe. Yes?
Yeah, on Saturday, yes. The last qualifiers on Saturday.
So let me find it. Who's actually already qualified? It's Dig, Liquid,
Fnatic, and
Navi.
Navi,
Navi.
I believe it's Navi. Yeah, Navi beat us in the first one.
Yeah.
and then there's 4 more spots, and this last qualifier will determine the final 4. So yeah, I'd be shocked if you guys didn't make it, Hasu. You guys feeling confident?
Yes. I mean, we felt confident in the first 2 qualifiers already, but somehow it never works out. Like we're always playing from the boot camp, and somehow when we're playing a tournament from the boot camp, we make a lot of very weird mistakes. You could always even think that we are betting against each other because like, it looks so bad sometimes. I don't know. But yeah, the third qualifier, I mean, everything is on the line, so everyone will play like 100%. And I'm pretty sure we will do it. I would be super disappointed if we don't. But I'm not even thinking of it, so.
Didn't you play Kael'thas in one of the qualifiers?
Yeah, that is.
There's something stupid going on.
Hey,
we were like
I would
the between games or scrimming, and we had this massive projector on the wall where we could like watch streams from a laptop. So we had like the main stream going, and I looked up and I was like, "Is Hasu playing Taika?"
We lost the Tigers map, but we won the best of 3. But I think we lost one best of 3 later against Liquid, maybe. Or yeah, it was. I think it was Liquid.
Yeah.
Given the teams, I think we have a good chance, and I think we will make it. I mean, it's 8 teams, 4 of them will qualify, and it's double elimination. So
Couldn't be safer, like just in
Uh,
case.
yeah, I'm not scared at all.
All right. Well, I wish you the
Titus OP though.
Tychus OP.
That? I mean,
Hasu one trick pony Titus.
Tychus was OP for a brief moment when he was bugged, and his grenade did like 50% more damage, and interrupted backs and like stuff like that with the damage over time. Like so, for like 2 days, Tychus was broken.
I mean, one day before the regionals, they decided to put melting point into his basic kit. I like it.
Yes.
Okay.
Was he actually like broken, or was it just like
Melting
I don't
point?
know?
It was
Disgusting.
insane, dude.
He went to highest win rate, I think.
Like you
Oh.
play Tomb with
Just
him,
because
he's
of
in the
W?
front lane, and he kills
Yeah.
like the Euro.
It would just
center
be
away.
like his W would burn everything for 50% of the damage afterwards.
Yeah.
Oh.
Including heroes, and it
What?
like interrupted
Heroes
turn-ins and
and
stuff too for the whole
buildings.
duration. It wasn't like a dot that normally doesn't interrupt. Like normally, if you have a damage over time on you, then like you can still channel and stuff like and back and turn in, but like you couldn't with that on you. It was so toxic.
Well,
Well,
I didn't even know. What the fuck?
it's fixed, so don't worry about it.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
okay.
fixed. Don't worry about it. Yeah.
Yeah, we were probably traveling during as well. Like, I just know it started the day we left, and it was fixed by the time the tournament started, so...
Yeah, they fixed it the night before the tournament, I believe, or the evening before the
Yeah,
tournament.
because they weren't sure what to do with him, with the rules,
Yes.
and then Blizzard pushed out a hotfix, and they were like, oh, well, that solves our problem.
They actually
Yeah.
kept him.
Yeah.
They kept him banned because they'd announced he was banned in NA, so he was actually banned for this past weekend. Even though he was
Ah.
fixed, they were just like, you know what? We announced he's banned. We're sticking to it, and I respect that.
That's fair.
Yeah. All right. So
Good job,
moving
Turkish.
moving forward this weekend, Saturday is the final EU qualifier. Sunday will be the second NA qualifier. Going into the LA event. But let's transition over and talk about the first qualifier for North America, which happened this past weekend. I realized that you guys were all competing in Europe, except for Dunk, who did play in this event, and at the same time. So if you didn't catch the VODs, completely understandable. We'll make this a pretty quick discussion. So coming into it, we had just basically it's an 8-man bracket, single elim, and Naventic, Cloud9.
No, it wasn't. It was a full open
Oh,
bracket.
yeah, well, you're right. There was a round of 64 technically. You're right. 34 teams. For some reason, I erased those first 2 rounds from my memory.
You probably just clicked the hide button. Yeah. When we were talking about it earlier and talking about the top 8. Yeah.
I definitely did.
Mhm.
So looking at the top 8 is very much what we expect to see here in North American Eventic, Guster Bust, Cloud9, THC, Gale Force, Panda Global, Cognitive, and Tempo Storm. But I think what a lot of people would be surprised of is actually Tempo lost to Cog in the round of 8, and game 1, Tempo stomped Cog. They did. Tempo just crushed them. And game 2, Cog bounced back. I think it was Illidan KT. I can't remember exactly. Damn, Zoya is going ham on the chat.
Wasn't that the Lily? Was it that bit serious?
Yeah. No, that wasn't. That was our series against Naventic.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, my bad.
Damn, Zoya going ham.
Actually, yeah, I saw both of these VODs actually.
All right.
Did Cloud-
This is just where I wanted the chat to be.
Well, I guess we'll transition over to Cloud9 versus Naventic discussion.
Hello.
Lily,
Hey,
Yeah. She's
Panda,
good, dude.
do the
Yeah,
results. say
elaborate.
She looked
Yeah,
really good
dude.
in Leicester as well. Did she see the Leicester game with
Yeah.
Lily?
No, I
That was
didn't actually.
That was a tough.
Maybe
close
if we
game.
had,
It
we
could've gone either way.
wouldn't have picked her.
Yeah, you would have been ready.
Yeah.
The Water
I don't know.
Dragon Silence Mouth Lily game.
Oh my god, that
Can't
sounds
believe you
amazing.
missed that one.
How did you know about our secret strat? Who else found it out?
ADRD, of course, the mad scientist.
The
He
legend
was-
himself.
He'd concocted that one before you'd even come up with it, you know? He'd been in the
Yeah.
lab.
Okay.
The only spot for her is, I think, is in double support versus like Rayman or Illidan. I don't know why you need it for anything else. Don't know.
I mean, we were playing against
So-
an Illidan when we thought it would be decent, and
Yeah, but
just-
and I agree.
instead of killing us, so that was.
I don't think it was the Lily in your game. I think the game
Yeah.
was just like overall not so.
Sure. Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree.
sometimes
I
it
don't
happens,
like.
but no.
It's really funny. People have a tendency to like tunnel on like one thing they think was like bad or whatever, and say that decided the game. But there were like so many factors that just added up. So
Yes.
Okay.
the best of three.
Fair
should-
enough.
But you were on tilt after the Lily, right? So it was just all the Lily, really.
Yeah,
As
it
soon as
was
the
all
Lily came out, it was straight tilt.
Yeah,
Like
yeah, for
the
real.
red mist descended. Don't know what
I
happened
mean,
in that series.
Once we picked Lily, we all decided to play the games with our monitors off.
Oh, fair enough.
To try and balance out because Lily's so broken, right? And she doesn't have to aim her spells, so everyone wanted the Lily experience. And it
Fair
actually
enough.
turned out to be harder than we thought. So, you know,
That's fair. I can respect that,
yeah.
All right. Well,
Leave Cloud9 alone, Bible thump.
anyways, COG upset Tempo Storm, and then it was COG versus Panda Global in a pretty close series where COG ended up being victorious and advanced on into that will be for the LA qualifier happening in June. Neventic did defeat Cloud9. That was a pretty big matchup. Obviously, the two teams representing Korea matching up on the same side of the bracket. Neventic was victorious there, and they moved on into our LA event as well. Next qualifier number 2 is this coming weekend on Sunday. The third qualifier will not be the week following because that is Austin. It will be the week after that. So DreamHack Austin, 2 weekends away, Tours 3 weekends away. The Heroes content is continuous for NA and EU, it seems. And then before we know it, it's going to be time for Sweden, which is going to be DreamHack Summer, the World Finals. So it's moving rapidly. But there's another big matchup happening. We actually don't talk about Asia as much as we should on this show. And there's for Gold League, we've got a pretty big matchup happening. E-Star is going up versus MVP Black. Now, right now, both of these teams are sitting pretty at 4-0 records in Gold League. Of course, MVP Black, being the champions of the spring season, got invited here. And I think this match is around the corner.
Yeah.
Should be soon.
Yeah, I think next week or something. I don't know what.
It's the
It is
last
soon for
match
sure.
in their group stage, so it should be like whenever there's one more round, I think. So
I mean, just E-Star is proven to be an extremely powerful team. MVP Black swept the OGN Worlds back in spring. Now that this is, I say their home turf, but it's Gold League. It really is kind of the home turf of E-Star. Do you guys think it'll change, or is MVP Black just on another level than all the other teams right now? Oh, it's tonight, like in 10 hours.
yes.
Xiaoqi is
Yeah, it
playing
looks-
again
yeah,
for
it's
E-Star,
tonight.
right? Like,
I thought it was
like
later.
Xiaoqi's playing for E-Star in China, right? But he wasn't in spring.
He's playing
The
now, I
championship?
think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Zhao back on the roster.
I think they're
tomorrow.
much better with Xiaoqi than they were.
Oh yeah,
at
definitely,
Spring Championship.
definitely.
So-
So much better.
They're probably going to be a lot closer to MVP Black. It'll probably be an actual set, if I had to guess.
Wow.
I like how
Actuals.
that's how sets with MVP Black go. Yeah, there'll probably be actual games that are played in that series.
Worth watching.
I mean,
Tough,
they are both qualified already, right? It's the last group stage match. They both have 4-0.
Yeah, they're
They're both out of the
advanced.
can't not make it out of their group. Yeah,
You're
So
wrong.
they
though.
could-
This will
they
just
could
be a
set.
series of troll fests.
It could
This'll be
be.
like
It could be. I mean, it
five
could be.
Lilies against 5
I'm-
Gazlo. This is gonna be Rich's Gazlo debut. I'm calling it now. Rich picks Gazlo tomorrow. It's happening.
I mean,
10 hours,
I mean,
by the way.
probably not, because they will try hard, I think.
Well,
but-
there's
Rich
a
picks
lot of
Gazlo.
pride on the line. Like as
Yeah.
much as
Yeah.
they might try to like hide strats and not take it serious, I don't think that'll happen. There is so much pride between these teams clashing ahead. Like
Yeah.
E-Star wants to say we're better than Korea, right? They want to defend their region for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is going to be on twitch.tv/GillyweedSE2 in about 10 hours, I believe.
in
Gilly and Zoya will be casting it for the English stream. So that's pumped.
It's offline, right? So MVP has to fly there, I believe. Or
Yeah, but
I
it's
think
not.
they are-
It's not a long. It's short.
I know,
between Korea
but
and
it's
China, right?
still.
I'm
they
sure.
have
I'm
the
pretty
two
sure
online-
they've been going back and forth. Yeah. No, I'm sure they've been
Exactly,
going back
yeah.
and forth because I know they've been streaming from their gaming house. So I think they just fly to China when they have to play matches, and then they just come
Ah.
back straight after.
Jesus, that's insanity.
Yeah, I
Road
guess. But
live.
I don't think it's that far to fly from Korea to China.
I mean,
Is it?
even if it's like a 2-hour flight or something, which is what I think it is, like that's still a lot of traveling to do.
Yeah.
Before a game. But I don't know.
I mean, I
Don't
guess
think
you're
it matters for them a lot.
one evening before, and then you play the next day usually, I guess.
Yeah, there's no time zone difference, so it's
Mm.
probably
I
like
was saying, it's
like
not
mess with you.
dramatic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'd be like going between states and then coming back. I think it's more like that.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I guess
I
Gilly,
guess it's still a lot of trouble.
I guess Gilly is busy and unable to cast, so Zoya said he's solo. So I might be casting with Zoya now. Hive. Well,
Ooh,
it's going to be very
Hive.
exciting, regardless.
Wait, Jake, you still cast heroes?
Hopefully.
Kappa.
Uh...
So,
Kappa.
yeah, very exciting stuff, guys. With that happening over in Gold League, and a bunch of events happening this weekend in Austin around the corner, there is certainly a lot to look forward to. I feel like that was the last topic I had, unless I'm missing something. Rip the dream. Well, on that note, I think we finished a little early. We can transition over to some questions via Discord. So if you guys have any questions you would like to ask all the panelists here on the show, you can type !Discord in the chat, pop into the Heroes Discussion channel. That's on the left side, the text channel. It's not voice, and ask questions in the Heroes Discussion chat. We will answer your questions. We'll pick through them and potentially answer them here on the show. Last week we had a lot of great questions there, so they are very much appreciated. But we are not doing call-ins. Once again, this is text-based questions via Discord.
Okay. By the way, I just got the info about Whirlpool Blade versus Tracer. It doesn't work. Apparently.
The
Wait,
E gets rid of it.
Yeah,
Oh.
the E gets rid of it.
Yeah, the E cleanses all debuffs, so it does get rid of it. Yeah,
So-
but if you catch her before the
Okay.
E, or you punish her for Eing like back into you, like
Yeah.
he still has application. I don't know. The few times I played that matchup, I actually feel like there was one time I all-in'd her and then she killed me straight away, and I was like, that wasn't very fun. I mean, you can chase her down and she's pretty squishy, so I mean, it's an okay
Yeah.
matchup. But I do feel like, especially if she takes the spike at 10, her burst is super ridiculous. So
Yeah, it is.
I think it's tough for him to kill her alone, even still.
All right.
Yeah. No.
We got some questions coming in. Snitch, as an ex-Gray main, what is needed to fix him?
A grey main.
Yeah, Gray main.
Main.
What is needed to fix him? Give him back the 7? I don't know. Like, it was such a stupid change. Like, I don't want to say he was fine, because I think he did everything, and he did everything really well, which was pretty bad, but he felt really good to play, and he felt like you had a lot of power, and his combos were cool, and his hero design was cool, and I feel like removing his cocktail means he has, like, 2 skills now, and they're not that interesting, and he can't really keep up with range anymore. So, I mean, give him back the 7, nerf his numbers, I don't know.
Do you think he's that bad right now?
I think he's worse than the top 3. I mean, I don't know, like, I think he doesn't have the burst he used to. Like, he's never going to do anywhere near as much burst damage as he used to. Like, playing with Uther, he's probably still fine. Like, you could still do the whole E-in and use, and then Divine Greymane, and he gets, he presses W and destroys the backline, but it's nowhere near as consistent, and he has nowhere near as much pressure before a fight. So it's basically, you have to all in with Greymane and hope that you win when you all in with him. So, I mean, I'd like to just see him get the cocktail talent back and then mess with numbers instead. Like, I get that they wanted to try something, but I don't think it works, and I don't like the way the hero design is going.
And don't forget about the interrupts as well,
Yes.
like on Tomb
That's
or
huge.
Curse. That's really huge, I think, as well. But
Yeah.
you're right. Everything what you said.
It feels like Blizzard almost forgot about that. Like when I read the change, like at least it felt to me like, man, did they forget that now he cannot interrupt anything anymore? And it was so good before. He was pretty reliable. And
Yeah.
Like now
That's
it's
what I-
impossible to do
Yeah,
it.
that's how I feel. Well, reliable is the right word. I feel like they just removed his reliability. Like he lost all consistency in poke before a fight. His burst got halved because you can no longer press W, throw a Q, and then
Yeah.
all in. You have to all
Yeah.
in like either immediately or during the middle of a fight where it gets weird. Like
Yeah.
I don't know. I just don't like the way that he went. I think he was a lot more solid as a character before, and I definitely don't like the change. And I'd prefer they just revert it and then try something else.
All right. Well, thank
Or
you.
revert it and make the other heroes OP, which is the best
could work
case
too.
scenario.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what the game needs.
Well, thank you for the question, Octoboss. That was a good one for sure. This one's from Zoya. Zoya asks a lot of good questions. Who would have thought? What do you guys feel about global heroes? It seems like the meta really revolves around heroes like Dahaka, Brightwing, Falsehead, and sometimes even Abathur. Do you find this game designed to be frustrating, or do you want to see more of it? We'll start with Hasu.
So he's right. Since the addition of the Haka, I think, like if you ban one global, like if you ban Falstad and they get the Haka, like it's definitely tough then to play against it because they have some kind of split soak while you don't. But it was the same before. So now you have like two solid options. I think the Haka and Falstad are both solid picks, even though I think Falstad is overall slightly better with the utility he brings. So the question is it good or bad for the game? I think it's okay actually. I just don't know how many, like if they add more and more global heroes, like how it would pan out. Because right now Abatur is a very niche pick. Brightwing, at least in Europe, he doesn't see much play. So it's basically only the Haka and Falstad for us. I think it's fine right now, but I don't know if they add more global heroes, it might be a problem actually.
Any thoughts on that, Dunk?
I don't really like what globals do to the game. I feel like the design of the different map objectives and the intention of the game to be around team fighting and stuff, like, feels like a lot of the times when people have globals, like, you end up with the really slow games where people can't, like, the team without a global can't do anything but death ball because they immediately lose the game if they do. Like, we saw a match between, like, Event Kick and Cog, I think, on Dragonshire, where the game went to, like, 35 minutes because, like, one team didn't have a global and the other team did. So if you don't have the global, you have to stay as a 5-stacker. You just immediately lose the game to the global. But, like, it makes the game super frustrating and hard to play. I think it's not good for the viewer experience or for the game to, like, have all these globals. They reduce the value of planning ahead, merc pressure, rotating well, etc. In my opinion.
BKB?
I lean towards dunks. Like, it's just something that is frustrating to play against. I guess I don't even know how it pans out in the lower level of quick match and hero league. I don't know how healthy is it for that. But yeah, like, I just think it's fine if they don't keep adding. Like, I don't know how many you can have. I just don't want to have like all global 5-man draft or something like that, which has been tried out in scrims and which has been quite ridiculous to play with. And I think it's really strong actually, and I'm still surprised sometimes that you don't see like, well, actually no, because one team takes Falstad and the other gets like the Haka, but like I think playing globals is quite broken in competitive. But yeah, it's really frustrating to play against.
Snitch, you have any thoughts on it, or?
I mean, I think the main issue with these kind of global designs is a lot of the heroes with globals kind of have not necessarily overloaded, but very strong kits anyway, and then they just have a global tacked on. Like Falstad is the perfect example of having almost everything in the game, and then he has a global as well. Like you could remove the global from Falstad, and he'd still be a very, very solid hero. Maybe you can't say the same about Dahaka because it felt like they designed him with the global in mind. But I mean, you have to be prepared for it. It's something you have to draft around. Like on Sky Temple, if they have a global and you don't, you're just gonna lose the game. Like that's why we had the Abathur pick prepared, because we figured you'd end up in a situation where one team bans the false elder Dahaka, you have to ban the Illidan, and then they're gonna pick the other one, and then you end up with no global. So you have to have something ready to soak. So that's one of the reasons we had Abathur ready. I don't know if it's it's not like they can just remove them all, so it's something I guess we're stuck with. I don't think it's that fun to play around, as everyone else said. But I mean, I think Falstad can make some cool players, and I think Dahaka can make some cool players. So I think it has some sort of viewership
Yeah.
boon in the sense that a Falstad flies behind any Gus, and it's a cool usage of
Well,
his
globals are exciting to watch, but I see what Dunk is saying, where it's like it takes away from some of the strategic finesse of a team, but they are exciting and like they do have that flair to them in a lot of situations.
I mean, yeah, I think just the real problem is that just with the way the game is designed, if they have a global, you have to have one, or you're gonna have a bad time on most maps. Like,
yeah,
I mean, if like Sky is a good example, Curse is another example. If you end up on one of these maps without a global, it's so awkward to play in a situation where they have a global and you don't.
Yeah.
That it's just not worth forcing yourself into it in draft. So you do definitely have to have globals prepared, and I do like that they added more. I don't know how many is a good number. I think the number we have now is pretty good. Like, I do like that, if they get Falstad now, you're not just screwed. Like, you have Dahaka, you can have the Falstad or the Abatha. There's still other options, and I like that. I don't know what the magic number is. Maybe we might even have too many now. I'm not sure. But I didn't like it when, Falstad was the only really super viable one. So I'm happy with the way it is now, I suppose.
okay. So that was a question from, I'm the worst. I don't think I give him credit.
Zoya! Jeez.
Oh, that was Zoya. Yeah. Thanks, Zoya.
Who? Zoya?
Get that.
Kicked from the show, kicked from Jake's memory. That's Zoya's life, boys.
Standard.
Feels bad, man.
So Battle Plans asks, why does it seem that in NA tournaments the drafts usually seem pretty strong like standard, but in Europe the teams seem to be doing out of meta counter like towards each other a little bit more often with weird drafts? I think that might just straight up be stylistic differences, but I'm curious what you guys think about that. Because NA, it's pretty much you can figure it out, right? You watch a draft, you know what's going to happen.
I have an answer for that. Well, how I feel like is that in Europe, like there's 5 teams that are on top, and most of the teams have a different play style, and you want to adapt to the play style. Like for example, if NA or Korea have like top 2 or top 3 teams, they can like play standard. Like Dignitas actually plays most of the draft standard, and they're still fine with it. But I feel like the other teams just are sometimes trying to over adapt. That's what I feel like my team did with the drafts. We wanted to cheese somehow out when we could just play standard, and I think like we'll still be fine, So one of the reasons is that there's many teams in Europe that have a similar level that you want to outdraft or pretty much outdraft them or like outsmart them with the playstyle. That's my opinion.
Okay.
Why the drafts are not so standard in Europe, except Dignitas drafts.
We got a question for Dunk Train. What beard products do you use? Oh, he has some on hand.
I actually use, this is a UK brand if I'm not mistaken.
Snitch is
Yeah,
like,
it is.
Snitch is like.
It's Apothecary 87 beard oil made in the UK. So yeah, that's what I use. There you go.
Thanks for the question, Malaxi. Where do you guys think Butcher will be positioned in the draft? First pick, surprise pick, or not Butcher, excuse me, Tracer. Tracer.
Butcher, dear God. Did you read the same patch notes as me, Jake?
That was a much bigger buff than I thought it was.
Yeah.
Tracer. Is she going to be a first pick material? Because she's so hard to respond to?
Maybe. I mean, I haven't scripted with her yet, but I think she is that strong that right now she's probably first pick material. But as I said, we didn't scrim with her now yet, so. But I think so. I think Tracer in the hand of a really good player, and he knows what to do. I think it's disgusting to play against with the current talent she has, and the cooldowns.
Yeah. there's just not enough counters to her, I think.
I think she'll
Like,
get
even-
banned more than she's left open for picking, honestly, because she's so frustrating.
But how does the competitive draft pans out then? You have to, like, you get the Tracer or Illidan 100% if you're
Yeah.
first pick. Or
Pretty
you
much
just
the way
have to
it's gonna
leave,
go.
or you have to
Well,
leave both open.
open.
In
yeah.
NA, Illidan's getting
then-
left open a lot, so I don't know. Our draft is a
Oh.
little different than yours. Like, if you look at NA drafts, in a lot of them, Illidan's getting left open
True,
and
yeah.
not getting first picked or even taken in the response by the second pick team's 1-2 spot. So that's interesting.
Oh. Well, as a second pick, it's just hard to build a proper or like a composition that you want to actually have for Illidan. But yeah,
Hmm.
I don't know. But I guess in Europe it will be like you get the Tracer or Illidan, or like the second pick has to leave both open, and then I don't know how it pans out. Like I guess maybe Illidan is even better.
I mean, KT is
in
also
Europe.
still in there. Like these three.
Oh right. So
I guess.
Like
Yeah.
the full stat to Haka global thing you have to consider as well. Like
I don't know. It's too crazy. Fucking
you
draft.
can do Abathur
But I
with
like
Illidan
it,
or Kael,
like-
but
I
I'm
I
not
have
sure
to
about
say that
Abathur
drafting
Tracer.
got way more interesting. I think
It
with
will.
like even now, I think it is much better than before with the newest additions, and then they buffed some heroes. So, like I think the hero pool overall, like almost everything can be drafted. I mean,
Yeah, no, yeah, definitely.
Theory,
I
but,
completely
yeah.
agree. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
there was definitely a large time period where drafting felt really stale. Like maybe
yes,
run up to BlizzCon, and then for a while after that, like maybe qualifiers to Katowice, perhaps. That sort of time period, it felt really, really stale. But
Stale.
I think-
BlizzCon drafts were the best.
yeah, well, one team didn't know how. One team didn't draft like the rest. So I don't know if you're in a position to comment on drafting. You just kind of rolled the dice and see what you got.
Yeah.
But I think yeah, it's
Hey,
definitely
they
a
won,
time
man.
where
Count it.
it felt bad. But I think it feels a lot better now. I think I like drafting. I like the hero, the overall hero pool feels a lot wider now than it ever has done.
There are more heroes, so wait
Yeah.
Yeah,
2
sure.
more
Yeah,
years.
but it feels like there's
Yeah.
more viable heroes as well. Yeah, like I mean, obviously you can look
Yeah,
at like
yeah,
League,
yeah.
for example, and League feels. I don't think League looks as in depth because of the way the bans are, but I like the fact that there's so many heroes to choose from, and I'd like to see. I look forward to heroes getting there at some point.
Yeah.
Alrighty, guys. Well, that's all the time we have for questions today. Thank you so much for all the questions in Discord. If you didn't get read, maybe next time you will. And thanks for that. We need to transition over to shoutouts. It's getting late in Europe. Hasuavs. Where could everyone find you, my friend?
on Twitter and on Facebook. On Twitter, it's Hasops Hot, and on Facebook, it's just Hasops. Then thanks for having me here. It was good time, good talk, and thanks to my insanity. And see you all in France, hopefully. Let's hope we don't screw up before.
No worries, man. Good luck with
Yeah,
that.
I
then.
have faith.
Thanks.
All right, Snitch.
You can find me on Twitter at Snitch Huts. My Twitch is Snitch with like 4,000 H's. I'm trying to stream more regularly. I like to stream evenings, but I'm not too consistent, so I don't know. I guess shout out to my subs that have been in the chat. I've seen a lot of my own face, which is always fun to see. Shout out to all the fans that supported us at Leicester. I mean, none of us would try as hard if we didn't have you behind us. It's great to have a growing fan base, and I look forward to tours to see if we can all show up for you guys again. That's basically it for me.
Very cool. Donkey.
You can find me on twitch.tv/DunkTrain or Twitter @DunkTrain. And I mean, everybody says the same things, so I just agree with Snitch. Like, shout outs to the fans, followers.
Wannabe! Sorry.
etc.
Oh,
Yeah. Sorry, I can't do an outro as well as Snitch. He's just too OP. Like, he is too good. So I'll just leave it at that. Thanks for being fans of us NA clowns, even though we're strictly worse than you. And
forever and
you know,
always.
that's just how it is,
Rehearse
man. That's just how it is. So we'll leave it at that.
And aren't you building a new PC or something?
Yeah, I actually did put PC together and stuff like that. But I figured I went into that in the intro, so I don't
Well,
really.
There might be viewers that
need
didn't
to
see
do
the
the
intro,
outro.
man.
Yeah, I want
Okay.
a live update.
Yeah, you want to live it because the new PC has actually been running for this whole show, so at least it's pseudo operational. I mean, it managed to stay on for 2 hours, so we're good there. And
Did you set up the
Probably
table
be-
meanwhile?
no, I did not manage to set up the table while I'm waiting for the table to come in. So once the table comes in and stuff, I'll probably start the streaming and that sort of stuff. Thank you for reminding me, Jake.
So proud of you.
Yeah.
VKB.
Yeah, you can follow me on Facebook, Twitter at LiquidBKB, and you can also follow me on Twitch. I'm not sure if I'm gonna stream often now because I have some problems with internet and I had to swap to my old one, which is really slow, and also it's not fun to stream with 40 FPS and not consistent. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's also an issue, and
Is that because your computer?
also,
Is that because your computer or what?
yeah, well, my computer is it's okay, but I don't know like how the Heroes of the Storm works because I really get low FPS
Yeah,
when I
think it's a
stream, and
Heroes thing.
Did you
Yeah,
disable reverb?
yeah.
I heard there's like an issue with reverb.
yeah, I have done everything. Trust me, I've
Okay.
checked everything, and also I have problems today. I was streaming, I turned the stream on, and I streamed for 40 minutes, and then my internet kept dying every 2 minutes. So
Oh,
I don't
man.
know what was that, or internet issue, or DDoS. I don't know, but yeah, thanks for Liquid, and thanks for all the fans, those who supported, and sorry for a disappointing result. And hopefully on France we can step up our game and qualify for the Worlds, or put a good show. So
Yeah. Another big shout out to you on being officially Liquid, man.
oh, thank you. And yeah, I'm on officially on Liquid already, like 1 week, a bit less though, 5 days or something. So yeah, thank you.
Well, it's good to have you back, buddy. All right, guys. Well, we talked about all the feature events coming up, so there's lots to tune into. I know for sure I'm casting on Sunday for the qualifier number 2 for North America. It sounds like I'm probably casting with Zoya tonight. I need to talk with him to confirm all of that, but at the bare minimums, that's definitely something to watch tonight. The MVP Black versus E-Star. I think that'll be on Zoya's channel no matter what, so be sure to tune into that in the wee hours of the night. I'm looking to do a Heroes meetup for people in New England. A lot of people, like ever since I moved to Connecticut, have been like, hey, we should like get a drink. And, you know, I went out for lunch today and I was like, you know what? There's so many people who have been asking, let's make sure we do an event. So if you're in Connecticut, Massachusetts, Rhode Island, you're in the area, you're interested in doing a meetup, let me know, and we're gonna organize something at a brewery or something where we can all get together and talk about this lovely video game, because that sounds like a
Man,
good time.
I'm jealous. That
Shout out
sounds
to
good.
Daniel
Yeah.
for that lunch. Good
Yeah.
stuff,
Yeah,
Daniel.
Danny boy.
Keep it up.
Good work.
Danny boy,
You the
the
man,
best.
Daniel. You the man.
My other
Yeah.
series, The Daily Quest, I started working on the revival of that today. I wanted to put an episode out this afternoon. I don't know for sure if that's going to happen or not, but it is indeed coming back very, very soon. And there's some other cool stuff coming, as I always like to say, because it's always in progress. So thanks so much for tuning into episode 105. BKB, Dunk, Snitch, and Hasu. It was a wondrous show, my friends. Thank you all for joining me.
Likewise.
And next week.
Thank you to our lovely guests.
Oh.
Yeah, thank you very much, Hastu and Snitch.
And to you,
The
the
loveliest
viewers.
guest.
Yeah,
GG.
of course.
Now, before
GG.
we go, there's one final thing. Just gotta watch Lily die.
No, don't kill her. No.
Yay!
Oh my
This
god.
took a dark
That's
turn. What
illegal,
the
dude.
hell?
Like,
Oh my
you go to
god.
jail for that.
I didn't ask for this.
Leave Lily alone, please.
We'll see you next week, guys.
Oh, Arthas was level 17. Oh my god.